A very good evening to each one of you, and thank you so much for joining in. I have a simple question today. What true leadership defines as on today? Is it the designation that they hold, or is it the boardrooms that they sit in, or the balance sheets that they influence? Or is it something far deeper? The lived experiences, the hard calls, the silent failures, probably, and the values that shape their judgment when no one is watching them. So, today's member spotlight is not just a conversation, it is definitely an exploration of leadership. So we are delighted to host Mr. Aravindan Subramani, a leader whose journey reflects depth, discipline, and an evolving understanding of governance in the practice. His career is not just a trajectory of rules; it is story of responsibility, stewardship, and continuous learning. And what it makes this dialogue more meaningful is his presence today with us. So, thank you so much, Mr. Arvindan, for being here with us, and a true warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Nehasha, ma'am.
Yeah. Uh, just before we dive into your experiences and lived, sharing that you would do with us. So at Mentor My Board, the member spotlight series that we run is unique because it moves beyond the titles and beyond the resumes. It creates a space where accomplished leaders like yourself step forward not as as someone who has done it all, right? But as evolving professionals, because we completely believe that life is a lifelong journey. Learning is a lifelong journey, and it is where these lived experiences become shared wisdom when you share it with leaders and promoters and founders at large, and where we hear not just what has worked, but what, how, and sometimes even what did not work for you. And in governance, perhaps more than anywhere else, leaders must remain continuous learners. So the regulatory landscape shifts, and hence the stakeholders' expectations also evolve very rapidly. The risks also multiply, and it's definitely humility to learn is a very critical and an authority and a decisive leadership, I would call. So conversations like the one that we are going to hear today from you will remind that boardrooms are strengthened. They are not strengthened merely by the expertise that the board members carry, but by the reflection and the exchange of their thought leadership with the community at large. And this is precisely why I encourage everyone present here and listening to this podcast to join us for the forthcoming Governance Week series from the 23rd of February till 1st of March. So it is designed as a movement of ideas, bringing together wonderful people who are practitioners, board members, promoters, founders, independent directors on boards, the government officials, the regulatory officials, thought leaders to engage in real time, current, and consequential governance topics or issues or conversations that we bring to you. And if today's spotlight is about the one leader's journey, the governance week is about the collective journey of multiple people who are eminent leaders of responsible leadership. So definitely join us from the 23rd of February till the 1st of March for the governance week from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the evening. Stay tuned with us. The links will be shared in the descriptions below. And for today, yes, definitely let us begin with your journey. So we would be really happy to understand your journey, Mr. Arvindan, and how is it that you have evolved in your career?
Yes. So I started my journey back in 2008 as an structural engineer, graduated from College of Engineering, Gindi, Chennai,
Mhm.
and then I started my career in L&T as an PGET structural engineer, where I got introduced to structural design of ports, structural design of bridge and metros and water treatment plants. So there, initial part of my career and initial years, I climbed up the ladder of corporate ladder, and I joined as a PGT, and with 15 years of experience, I quit from L&T as an section head. After that, I started this company, Lero, and I had a collaboration with Dehu Engineering Services and joined Dehu Group of Companies. So Dehu Group of Companies is 24 group companies in India, and we are providing boiler EPC boiler projects, engineering, procurement, and construction to Europe, India, Africa, and other parts of the world. And Lero Engineering is mainly focuses on structural design and fabrication. And we have a 4,000 square feet office at Chennai, Mectavus, Madurai, and we have an 30,000 square feet of manufacturing art yard at Chennai. So we do complete, structural design, detailing, and fabrication of all steel structures and infrastructure projects. So in short, that is my career. And in Lero Engineering, particularly, we have clients in Canada, India, Europe, and other parts of USA.
Great. We would be really happy to kind of, if you can elaborate on what exactly do you mean by structural design and neuroengineering, because these are the two terms you used frequently. So for the benefit of the listeners here, if you could kind of, a little elaborate on these terms.
Yes. So, with respect to structural engineering, actually, in any building, if you say that initially they start with an architect on designing and rendering the things, and we do BIM modeling, particularly the 3D rendering and 3D views. We do complete 3D modeling and rendering, and after that, we start with complete structural design. That is the main skeleton of the structure, whether that structure is able to withstand the wind load, able to withstand the dead load, live load, seismic load. Everything will be designed in StatPro software, and our chartered engineers in our company, they certify and they do stability analysis, and they give a certificate for good for construction the site. And after that, the structure will be constructed in site. We handle a lot of structures starting from water treatment plants, intake wells, boiler structures, oil and gas, sugar industry, complete EPC, with pipe racks, boilers, and all kind of structures we have experience, and we have done a lot of major projects in India, Africa, Europe, and Canada. So these are the structural design we do. In any country, there are rules and regulations, uh, regulatory compliance by the government before construction. Say, for example, of bridges, we may see a lot of government bridges construction in India. We have rapid metros and bridges, and Lero Engineering is having an expertise in bridge design and bridge modeling, and we are also the part of the great infrastructure development in India. Lero contributes a small part of it.
Wonderful. So, what I understand is structural designing needs a lot of precision for sure. So how has this technical discipline influenced your decision making as a business leader, as a managing partner at Lero Engineering and Services?
In structural engineering, there is always a concept called a factor of safety. For example, if you are designing a bridges for say like 100 vehicles, and if there is a possibility of 200 or 250 vehicles, what's supposed to be done? So they have a factor of safety of 1.5 in the design. Similarly, in any business, we need to take calculated risk, and that concept and that technical clarity comes from the passion of structural engineering for me, and that same knowledge I have applied in my business with calculated risk and calculated technical and commercial feasibility in taking the projects and delivering the projects on time. So we have delivered on time projects before the client says. We always maintained a strict timeline and a strict delivery schedule where the client is happy, and that's our first duty and protocol that we are following at Lero Engineering.
That's great. That's amazing. Here, I would also love to invite comments and questions from the viewers of this podcast. So, in case you're joining us on any of the channels of YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, do share in your questions and we would be happy to take it as well. As I move forward, and as you rightly mentioned, as a managing partner, how is it that you kind of cope up or balance with the technical excellence expertise that you have and with the commercial realities of business, because business has a very different acumen that needs to kind of sink in. So how do you manage as a managing partner both of these?
Yeah, see, actually, technical and commercial feasibility are two parts of our coin. We need to balance both the sides, and we need to take up the projects. Relying completely on technical things and relying completely on commercial things, both is a risky part. So we always have an eye on the commercial part and the risk involved and the profit and loss and what are the root cause of the engineering technicals. Everything we have an SOP for that, and step by step we involve each and everything. Before quoting the project, we will have an RFA with the client and analyze all the technical feasibilities, the site restraints, and the original conditions, and the deadline which to be provided by the client. If any of these points is like not in line with our calculation, then we will refrain from taking the project.
Interesting. Right. So many founders or promoters, entrepreneurs, they really struggle during the rapid expansion mode that they are into, right? More so in the startup phase for sure. So, from a structural perspective, if you have to kind of, as a technical expert, if you view what must entrepreneurs strengthen before they scale up? So, what how should the foundation be built?
Basically, in structural engineering, like we should be always on the note for innovations. For example, 50 years back, structural design were done in working stress method, and later limit state method was in practice. And every 10 years, they are updating the codes, and we should stay updated. And now the entire world is going for net zero carbon, and technologies and codes has been developing for net zero carbon. And what are the design procedures available, it is going to be entirely changed in line with the net zero carbon. So we have to be aware technically what is happening and what is going to happen, and we need to uh, adapt and be ready for the changes coming.
Great, great. I truly believe what you said. Being ready, knowing what is coming in future, and being ready for it is really very, very important. And that brings me to my next question to you. So, what does risk management mean to you, and how can boards adopt the engineering mindset towards the governance oversight that might happen due to these changing environments, due to the risks that keep on coming in, due to the geopolitical shifts that keep on happening? So, how is it that the boards adopt these changes towards the governance oversight that might happen with regards to the risk management, and how is it that you feel that they can confine the risks?
So the engineering mindset for the boards and upcoming companies for next few years will be like the government of India has put an agreement with Europe for free trade, and the economic is going to boom in and around Europe. And Lero Engineering, as an we had taken up proactive steps in making some joint ventures and agreements with European companies, and it will be growing big and big, and the business is going to be like very huge. And there are also going to be some lot of real estate companies coming to India, and they're going to make a lot of investments, and the business in India is seeming to be very good. And we need to be aware like any shift and any risk, we need to be dynamic to change our path, but we should keep our goal fixed, and the target fixed, and work towards achieving the targets. As of now, I see that infrastructure and manufacturing seems to be picking up with Europe and Canada, and there are also big chances of Russian companies and EPC companies entering into Indian market. So like Lero Engineering is pre-prepared for that. And also with respect to boards of huge companies, they are also, I suggest them to make a proactive shift. And with respect to geopolitical situation, all the future strategies, future governance, and future steps in the companies has to be taken.
Great. So what I understand is you rightly mentioned that you have to focus at the core, keep the core constant, and move each step towards it so that you are better in place and you achieve what you have desired to, without shifting or without kind of getting more affected. But then yes, keep in mind the geopolitical scenarios, keep in mind the circumstances overall, and keep refining it timely, right?
Yes, yes.
Perfect, perfect. Arvindanji, has there been any kind of crisis that would have occurred, and then you would have probably, as a managing partner or as an engineer, that you would have resolved, which probably uh, strengthens the board, and which strengthens the governance aspect of the board?
Definitely, any project, there are some critical moments which will strengthen our leadership skill, and which will have some innovative methods to be adopted in the board. In my experience as an engineer, I have faced a very tough and critical situations in design and execution of several projects. For example, there was a project in Uttar Pradesh, 660 megawatt thermal power plant. There was a existing boiler foundation is there, and due to the land restraint and their expansion of projects, there are going to be another structure for which foundation has to be constructed on the existing foundation. And it was a very tedious task for me at that moment. But I have made a new procedure, and I have innovated some new methodologies, and it has been updated as a codal provision. And yield and design method has been acknowledged by big people and IIT professors and all CEOs of the company. And it has been forwarded to the codal committee of Bureau of Indian Standards, so that in the next code book IS 456, it will be an the law for all structural engineers. So any challenges, any problems, there is also an opportunity for us. We need to think and act accordingly.
Wonderful. So, what I understand is while we are thinking, it definitely requires a lot of personal qualities in a person to kind of handle these kind of situations. So, what are those personal qualities you would call of probably, that makes you different or that stands out and that leaders must possess for sure?
Yes, some people say that leadership means asking questions, but according to me, leadership means finding answers and solutions to unanswered questions and problems. I have been always, as an in early stage of career, uh, like doing task and a task taker. But later, after some part of time, 10 to 15 years experience, I have been changed to a strategic collaborator, looking for solutions to problems, and that changed my leadership skill. And that happened because of some challenging projects I have worked, and it is a natural process for any engineer, happen to them, and that has also happened to me.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think that's really great. Uh, I also wanted to understand while we were speaking about risk, while we were speaking about the mindset of leaders, right? In the era of sustainability, of compliance, how does the structural engineering evolve, and what should the promoters be mindful of?
The promoters should be mindful of all regulatory compliances. For example, 5 years back there were new compliances coming into the industry. The minimum size of a column should be 300 mm, but
Hmm.
so many individual people, residential houses, they still construct with a 230 mm column. For individual people, there is no big problem, but as a company, as a promoter of a company in the board, this kind of regulatory compliance is need to be followed. If not followed, it will be a risk at a later stage, and the company's name will be at stake. So the promoters should be all the time, they should be aware of the regulatory compliances and structural rules and regulations adopted and implemented till today.
True, true, true. What I understand is all kind of such huge projects involve a lot of teamwork, and it's really very important to kind of bring in the entire team together to execute such large engineering projects, right? So how do you manage or how do you cultivate that strong team culture, the bonding between them, so that they are able to execute timely?
Teamwork will bring huge success. As an individual engineer, I have achieved some things in life, but as a teamwork, the achievement is so big. I always suggest people to be as an team member and team promotion. What I do is that I will be like a co-worker and a peer worker in my team, and always find solutions and try to bridge the gap, and whatever complex thing is coming, I will try to resolve them, and uh, not like a bossy attitude, and like a friendly co-worker I will behave, so that the team will be strengthened and success will be achieved by the entire team, not only by me.
Hmm, interesting. So, in your journey, probably has there been, or probably has been that defining moment that tested your leadership judgment, and how did it shape the way you lead your team today?
Uh, there are always like certain site restraints. After designing, coming to the site, we know that okay, this thing has happened. There is something wrong. Like 10 years back, there was an intake well at Brahmaputra River. It was 100-meter deep. We did a complete structural design, and we are given to the site. And after going to the site, they were digging the well on the Brahmaputra River. Uh, the soil report which given to us mentioned it's like a complete clay, but after 10 meter of digging they found like a hard rock, and it was a very big issue at the time. So we stopped the further construction and we went to the site, and we made another test pit soil borehole at the sites, and we got the revised soil reports, and we altered the design lively at the site, so that the site will be going parallelly, and we complete the construction within the time. So it was a challenging task which I faced in one of the
Great.
projects.
So what I understand is whenever you have a challenge, you always either kind of tend to seek advice, seek mentorship, or learn from the books, or you learn from surroundings, right? So
Yes.
who has been your most influential mentor in life, probably formally, informally, and what has been that one lesson from that mentor that shapes your leadership style today?
My early stage, in my college professor, there was one professor, Mr. Dr. Senthil Kumar Sir from Anna University. He will says that there is always many options in life. He will just keep saying those words like 5 to 6 times in a day. When I was in a college time, I don't understand, but when I come to site and site issues, I always remember his words, and which make me to think an alternative solution or alternative win-win strategy at any point of time in my life.
Great, great. So, flipping the question on the other side, as someone who has built, so much of experience over the years, how do you view yourself as a mentor today, and what responsibility do senior leaders carry in shaping the next line of leadership for their organizations?
Definitely. So my mentorship will be sharing of my experiences, sharing of my mistakes, sharing of my failures happen, which will be an open book to them, so that they will not do it again, and they feel the same problem again, and also which lead them to make some innovations. It's like there is a route from A to B, and there are some 10 routes. There will be only one short and easiest route from your point A to point B, and a person like me already experienced all the 10 routes, and I could say the story, like what are the problems will be coming in each route, and that will be a guide to the upcoming generations.
Great. Many leaders also think, something different. In fact, something that is very contrast to what you just mentioned. They say that you must allow your team to kind of walk on some paths, allow them to fail, so that when they succeed, they know what are those things that they can avoid and how is it that they overcome those challenges. Is something that makes them evolve as a leader themselves also. What do you think about this?
See, in my company, I allow people to make mistakes, admit mistakes. What will happen is that in civil engineering infrastructure projects, if a small mistake is happening, the effect in the site will be huge, and the monetary, fine will be very huge, and it also leads to a lot of casualties. So, in my experience, I always suggest my team members, if any mistakes has happened, they are always open to admit a mistake before completion of the project, or anytime they make, they admit, so that it is corrected before the construction process. So that kind of
Absolutely.
open environment should be created as a leader, and I think I have done that. I also suggest the same thing for all peoples and board members to do that.
Great, great, wonderful. So I understand while your industry has, certain challenges where you cannot be a very open leader on some certain projects, definitely. But as a leader or as a person, definitely you would allow people to kind of, make some mistakes, come back to you and learn from it, right? So that has been the general rule that you've probably followed. Great. As a member of Mentor My Board, circle of directors community, how has been this association adding value to your leadership journey?
Actually, MentorMyBoard helps me to connect with other, big chartered engineers and all technical people. Whenever I have some doubts or technical things or any situation to be done, I may get some immediate expert help from the community, which has helped me, a lot, and which will be helping me in future also. So I thank to that MentorMyBoard community for creating such an ecosystem, and really, you people are doing a great work.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Arvindanji. It means a lot. And it's been really wonderful speaking to you, having this conversation with you. Thank you so much for joining us. And yes, stay tuned to all the viewers for the Governance Week that is starting from 23rd of February till the 1st of March. We have many more great leaders coming up, speaking, sharing their experiences, sharing their golden nuggets of advice. They've been there, they've done it, they've seen the boardrooms, uh, they have been in the boardrooms, and hence their experience matters a lot. So if you are a leader, if you are a person who would love to learn from others experience, this is the place that you just cannot miss. We have wonderful topics that we have been curating for this governance week, and some eminent speakers who are joining us. And yes, that's it from me today. So signing off, Neha Shah, co-founder director of Mentor My Board. And thank you so much, Arvindanji, for joining us here. And it was real pleasure speaking to you, knowing some wonderful things about structural engineering, which commonly may not be known to a lot of people. So thank you so much for joining in and sharing your lived experiences.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. See you soon.